everybody. Welcome to our new series called Home Cooking Japanese Food. Now, recently I got married to Ms. Akina, and actually I learned that Japanese people eat different foods at home than they do at a restaurant. Why is that, Akina?
I think it's because we want something hearty and easy to have every day, and it's probably with something to do with family recipe.
Yeah, I think each family has their own recipe, and I was interested to learn that a lot of these foods you can't get at a restaurant. So today we're gonna actually try to show you some of these foods. Maybe it'll broaden your horizon about what Japanese food really is. And we filmed some of these meals recently, so without further ado, let's talk about them.
So I'll start with the meal number 1, which is Somen. And Somen is one of the typical Japanese food, and it's a noodle, like really thin noodle. And if you think about angel hair spaghetti, then that's kind of like that. And for this one, I put chicken and some Japanese herbs, which is negi and myoga and shiso. Then I put something like spinach kind of veggie, which is called komatsuna. Then I put a little nice red thing on the top, which is ume, and which is kind of like sweet but sour as well. So
Yeah, it's sour and salty, but you also had some sauce in there too, right, boss?
it's just like kind of standard soup or any kind of noodle for Japanese things.
What's it called?
I use one company called Somen, and they actually are in the States, so if you are in the States, you might be able to find it.
Now, how did you chill these noodles? Because they were cold when they were served, so did you put some ice on the noodles after you cooked them, or what?
Yeah, I just chill those noodles in like ice water, and then just get rid of the water.
Okay. Well, whatever you did, I have to say, this meal was really great, and I think it was an awesome one to have in the summertime. It was very fresh. The cold noodles were really refreshing, and just having all those herbs in there was really nice. Like, myoga I'm starting to really get into. Myoga is basically a vegetable that looks like a cross between spring onion and ginger in taste. And that was really good. That and the shiso, which is semi-minty, and some of the other ones in there, like, I thought that plus the saltiness of the ume with the slight sweetness of that sauce was really good. So that was an awesome meal.
Yeah, the noodle is served as chilled, and all the freshness of the herbs make the whole meal really refreshing in the really hot summer day. So I like it to have it.
Big time. Now, aside from those noodles, we also had some pickled yamaimo on the side, which is basically a mountain yam. And what did you do to pickle that, Akina?
I put some pickled sauce, and I put like lots and lots of wasabi in it, just to have like a wasabi flavor to it.
Yeah, it really had a kick to it. It was really good. I don't know how to explain the flavor of mountain yam. It's kind of sticky.
It's kind of sharp in the texture too.
Yeah, there's a nice texture to it. It's sticky, yet kind of sharp. It's got a starchy flavor, yet it's got kind of a herbal thing. I don't know how to explain it, really. It's very unique.
And we also had nameko, which is like slimy mushroom, and tofu miso soup.
Yeah, you gotta get down with the slime sometimes. I mean, I know it might sound weird, but I'm telling you, man, these slimy mushrooms are real good. They got a nice kind of like, you bite into it, it's got a nice little texture. How do you explain that?
I don't know, like you can feel like the texture really
Pop or something when you bite into it. It's not a crunch, but it's not a chewiness either. It's got a nice little pop when you bite into it. That plus the tofu and the miso soup was very simple, yet elegant.
So meal number 2, which I don't know how I call it, maybe just like a set.
Yeah, I actually call it a turbo meal because you created a bunch of little dishes that just made one massive meal. So what were the contents of that turbo meal, Akina?
So we had a red grapefruit salad, and we had saba fish grilled, and we had tonjiru, which is kind of like a miso soup with a bunch of ingredients, and we had rice, of course, and we had mizunasu, which is like pickled aubergine, and we had boiled moroheya.
Yeah, so first off you have that grapefruit salad, which is actually counterintuitive to have a fruit in the salad, but it was really good. There's also the kaiware sprouts in there, which are the fresh sprouts you cut yourself. And basically those have a sort of bitter, kind of spicy bite to them. So that was a very fresh salad. I definitely liked that a lot. Then we had the Saba fish. Now this fish itself, to me, it didn't look appetizing when you saw the fish body getting cooked up. But it was really good. It had like a salted, really kind of like rich flavor to it, right?
Yeah, the fish itself is really fatty even if you grill it, and it has a very distinctive taste to it.
Yeah, it's kind of fishy, but super rich, and yeah, like I don't know how to explain it except I wanted to keep eating it. Like I couldn't really stop. It just was really soft coming right off the bone and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's fatty, but it's not like bad fatty. It's kind of really
Yeah.
easy to eat. So.
Almost like buttery, but it wasn't buttered at all, but it tasted like it was, that's how good it was.
And it's also meaty. It's not like something which would melt in your mouth kind of thing, like tuna.
Yeah. So next up we have the tonjiru, which is a miso-based soup that you have like pork and a lot of other ingredients in.
Yeah, ton means pork, and basically you have to have pork in it. And I put daikon radish and onion, and that's in like sweet potatoes.
Yeah,
so
satsumaimo.
I put it, and I think I had shiitake mushroom in it too.
Okay. Yeah, and then we had the rice on the side. I personally like getting that rice and dipping it into the tonjiru. That way I have a nice little high calorie bite.
Yeah, compared to normal miso soup, it has like a really complex taste to it. Like I forgot to mention it, but we have burdock, which is gobo too.
Oh yeah, you had the burdock in there. That's kind of like a root vegetable that has a slightly earthy flavor to it.
Yeah, so those mixture makes like the soup really kind of earthy.
Yeah.
And like really rich in the flavor.
It's great, yeah.
And like the pork makes the soup very kind of.
It just makes it taste very nourishing. Like it tastes like something that if you had been doing a lot of physical activity in the day, that would be something that would really support your body.
And we use like reduced salt miso, so the miso soup kind of tastes like halfway between even sweet and salty.
Yeah, apparently, I didn't know this, you told me that apparently when the miso isn't too salty, you can taste the underlying sweetness that's really there. So that was great. And the last one was that moroheya vegetable. This is another one of those really sticky Japanese vegetables, which personally, like, I've gotten used to, but I think a lot of Westerners wouldn't. It's quite good though, right?
Yeah, sticky or slimy, and we have it with soy sauce, just simply, and it's so good. I don't know how I can explain the flavor.
It's not like anything else really. It's maybe like spinach kind of, but it's really different. It's got more of a nice texture to it.
Yeah, it's really easy to eat because it's like slimy, so you don't really have to chew or anything. It just go through your mouth into throat, so that's very nice feeling too.
Really good.
Meal number 3, Japanese curry with summer vegetables.
Yeah, that was awesome. You had chicken in there as well, right, Akina?
Yeah, I made it in like a chicken curry.
So this is a Japanese style curry, and what kind of summer vegetables did you use?
I put aubergine and okra, putty tomato, and baby corn.
Yep, so you got those cherry tomatoes popping off, and actually the okra thing is interesting because I would have never expected in general that people use okra in Japanese cooking. You can get it in a restaurant, but I was just surprised how often it's used. It's actually really good. I wouldn't expect it to be good in a curry, but it's actually very suitable for this.
So I quickly fried these vegetables on a frying pan with no salt, no pepper. I just used like a slight amount of olive oil and that's it. I just put those vegetables on the top of curry.
Yep. So the curry was actually cooked separately. Did you put any vegetables in the curry when you cooked? You usually use like
So we usually put potato, carrot, and onion in the curry. But if I add those extra veggies on the top, then it's more nutritious, you know?
Yeah, it feels more healthy. Like sometimes Japanese curry, when you get it in a restaurant, you kind of feel guilty after eating it. But this one was more fresh. I liked it. And you used some kind of pre-made thing for the Japanese curry part though, right?
Yeah, for like, which is called rube. I don't know how
Okay.
actually you can spell it. But this one is slightly chili, but not too spicy for me.
Okay.
Because I'm not really tolerant to it.
Yeah, it seems quite common that people do use a pre-made thing for the actual curry though, because I don't know why, it just very rare to make it from scratch.
Yeah, it's just we just don't really have time to mix spices, and we are just kind of not really spicy people in general. But we do have lots and lots of kinds of these pastes, so it's kind of interesting to try other kinds of paste too.
Yeah, it's actually amazing to see the variety of curry pastes they have in the grocery store. But Akina, you served some milk on the side with this curry. Is this a common thing?
Yeah, it actually is. I don't know why, but maybe from like school meals we have curry, then we always have milk by side.
Yeah.
And if you go to Yokosuka, which is like a Navy base.
That's where Japanese style curry is supposed to have originated, right?
Yeah, like we have, like if you have any relatives in Navy, American Navy, then you might have someone in Yokosuka. And they always have milk with curry in Yokosuka. So maybe that's it. So this is meal number 4, which is another set.
Yeah, I would call this turbo meal number 2.
Because in Japan, we actually have a concept that a meal is ideally have rice, 3 dishes, and 1 soup. So that's why I did do a set.
Okay, yeah, that's like 5 items right there. Okay.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be like, you know, balanced or nutrition enough.
So it's like a balanced bounty of foods.
Yep.
So in this one, what did you have? You have something with okra again?
Yeah, I love okra and slimy things. I had I had okra and nameko with the sauce from like the one I used for somen, which is like a sweet salty thing with just a little bit.
It's a light sauce. Okay.
Yeah, and we had chicken with negi and zasai, and zasai is kind of like a pickled salty thing.
Is that a mushroom or something? What is that?
It's supposed to be one of the roots of a veggie.
Okay, so yeah, it's like pickled. It's quite flavorful.
Yeah, it's very, very salty if you have it on its own.
Yeah.
But I mixed it with like a chopped and mixed it with the other things, and then used that sauce into.
With the chicken, use the sauce with the chicken and the spring onion.
Yeah, and then put some sesame oil and just mix it. And it's kind of easy, but like it's very good. If you're a drinker, like maybe like a beer drinker, then it's very good.
It goes well with beer, yeah. So yeah, that was good. The chicken negi zasai, that had a sort of subtle flavor to it, but after I ate more, just started shoveling it in my mouth, I started liking it more. Then we have, what's next? The miso soup?
Yeah, we had asari no miso soup, like asari miso soup, which is clam soup.
Yeah, it's a certain type of clam you have here, and all I can say is that asari has a real clammy flavor to it. Like it really flavors the miso totally different from how it is normally.
Yeah, like we use the clam as a broth to make a broth.
Okay.
So that has a very, very rich flavor of the shellfish.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, as we mentioned, we have like kind of reduced salt miso, but like that kind of makes the saltiness a bit higher.
Yeah, I would say the asari clams do add some saltiness to it, but the flavor is like really nice. So I think that's awesome. It's kind of hard to pick out those clams from the shells afterward, but the flavor they add to the soup is really good. And next we have that miso nasu. Somehow I forgot to mention the miso nasu before when we were talking about the turbo meal number 1, but miso nasu is really good.
It's basically like a very, very watery aubergine, which actually literally means miso means water and nasu means aubergine or eggplant.
Yeah, eggplant is the key word there,
Yeah.
These are different from the ones, even the ones in Japan in general are different, but this particular kind, which is just seasonal, right?
It's very, only in summer, and it's sometimes difficult to find it from supermarket.
Okay.
But if you put that in a pickled sauce and just make it sure that it doesn't pickle too much, then we have with like a Japanese mustard.
Yes.
It's very, very good.
It's really good. Like the texture of that miso nasu has got a nice, fresh, crispy bite.
This is something you have to have it. Like the skin is kind of hard, so you can feel like, you know, if you have some very fresh vegetable, then you feel like a bite on your teeth. Then the miso nasu have it, and like it's somehow it like the aubergine taste and then the mustard complement each other, and you can feel like you can eat it like forever.
Exactly.
Meal number 5, which is Houtou.
Now this is a really rare one because you said that actually these noodles are from Yamagata.
No, Yamanashi. But anyway, it's like a specialty from Yamanashi area, which is really close to Mount Fuji area. And the noodle is really thick and flat, very more chewy kind of.
Right,
and
it feels like it's handmade or something.
Yeah, it usually like feels like handmade, and it has very strong texture.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we usually put pumpkin in it, which is the key of the meal.
Pumpkin plus miso, right?
Yeah, pumpkin plus miso. So it's based on miso, and you put pumpkin in it, then the pumpkin melts in the miso, so it's kind of like a pumpkin miso.
It's awesome.
Soup.
I would never think miso and pumpkin would go so well together, but they really do.
And other than that, we have pork meat, we have carrot, daikon radish, and onion. And we also had shiitake mushroom, and then we also had maitake mushroom. And we also had a potato called satoimo, which is like a very sticky potato.
Sticky and really starchy.
Yeah, but it's not slimy, so it's kind of different from yamaimo, like mountain yam thing.
And it's very soft, like the yamaimo thing is really crunchy, but this one's so soft. By the way, as a side note, you have so many different kinds of vegetables, mushrooms, and all kinds of stuff that we never heard of.
Yeah, and these mushrooms are really nice too, especially maitake, which has a very unique flavor to it. It's kind of like almost kind of aromatic. And you like the meal, right?
Oh man, did I like that meal. That was the hardest thing I ever had here. I think, like, first of all, I love pumpkins in Japan in general. Those pumpkins are originally from where? Cambodia or something?
Cambodia.
Yeah, it's a different kind of pumpkin than what we have in America. Like, the skin is green, the inside's orange, but the skin, once you cook it, you can actually eat right directly into that skin. So it's quite sweet, quite nice. And just in general, I felt that that meal was like really nourishing, and yeah.
Makes you really hot though.
yeah, it did. Luckily the weather was a little cooler that day.
Meal number 6, Hiyashi Chuka.
Yeah, this is some sort of noodle-based meal, right, Akino?
Yeah, the name actually means like chilled Chinese, which doesn't really make sense, but it's usually served at ramen places and stuff. But it's
I have
also
seen it. They were selling it at the restaurants, right?
Yeah, it's very common, and it's actually just for summer. And it also like chilled noodle, and I put some egg, tomato, and I had kaiware, and I also had ham, cucumber. Then I added myoga, which is the gingery herb, which we talked about before.
Yeah.
I guess people don't really put myoga on it, but I usually like something like very herbal and have very refreshing taste. So I just added it. But I think it turned it well, right?
I would say I never had it before. Actually, this is the first time I ever had this, but yeah, I think you definitely need that myoga in there. Once you had it with myoga, you can't go back. But what kind of noodles did you use, Akina?
Well, I just got it from supermarket actually.
Okay.
But
so it's kind of different from the Somen, right? Or is it similar?
It's very different from Somen. The noodle itself is very different. It's more eggy, and it's kind of more like a ramen-y noodle, I would say. And the sauce, there are some versions, like they have sesame version, but we had like the simple one, which is like, or the basic one, which is like soy sauce based and a slight vinegar taste to it.
Okay.
And it's very, again, refreshing.
Yeah, the fact it was cool, and just in general, the fact that there's a variety of stuff in there I really liked. Like, I never had the shredded egg and ham and something like that with like fresh vegetables. Overall though, really good. I highly recommend this one.
So, number 7, which is the last one for this one, which is udon Akina style.
Yeah. Now you're just calling it udon. I mean, to me, I was calling it udon soup. But basically, I guess, is this the standard way that udon is made, or does each family make their own style? How does it work?
I think people have different style, and this is just I like. I usually use chicken to make the broth, and I usually put carrot, onion, and daikon radish, shiitake mushroom, and butter. Then put some like spring onions on the top. I also use the soup base, which I used for somen. So it's kind of like sweet and salty.
This is the soy sauce one?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Like this was another hearty one. I think it was quite good. Maybe it wasn't as exciting as some of the other things you were making. I liked it a lot, but yeah, I think it's a little bit generic compared to the other ones. What do you think, Bubba?
Yeah, I would say so. Like there's nothing like anything fancy, but
Yeah.
it's very, very easy to digest, and it feels very nice in the stomach. It doesn't make you too full, but it's nutritious enough.
Didn't you say that Japanese people make it if they have to cook late at night or if they have to eat late?
It's just me. Like I like
Okay.
to have something easy to digest or like something like that. Like I don't want to have like heavy tummy when I go to sleep. So if I have to eat late, then I tend to cook this.
So, if you want to learn more about everyday life in Japan, then you better subscribe to this channel. And you might want to check out our previous video about a Japanese supermarket grocery haul. We got that link down below in the description box.
So thank you for watching this video and see you next time.